Hello there, and welcome to another great video game ideas not used video, GBGINU for short. It's been quite a while since I've actually had time to sit down and actually make a video, which makes me kind of happy that I'm able to do this right now. And you get to see the title before I even say anything, but yeah. This is pretty much a late video talking about some of the things that I wish Nintendo would have shown at E3 that they didn't. I mean, I don't know if any of this is in the works or not, but it's not there, so basically what I wanted to talk about. I actually have written an article about Nintendo's E3 presence somewhat. It's currently being reviewed by Yahoo Voices, so it's not posted at the moment, but I will probably it'll probably be up pretty soon because I so yeah yeah. First thing I wanted to say, I mean, I'm kind of sad that I didn't see it because I was hoping that they would have something in the works for it. But F Zero, there was no F Zero, like new F Zero game planned for the Wii as far as E3, or at least there wasn't an announcement for it. I mean, that kind of sucks, but hopefully Nintendo will be doing it soon because I would like to see that. I mean, they got Mario Kart. That's probably why they didn't do F Zero. Because honestly, there's no point in them releasing two racing games right behind each other. But there are some people that just don't like Mario Kart and they like F Zero. Whereas I like them both, but I prefer F Zero because it's more along the lines of the type of racing I like, which is futuristic, out of this world type of stuff that you just don't normally see in a racing game. And that's how I like my racing games. I like them to be out there, like just different. But another thing I'm disappointed I didn't see, and I'm hoping that they do this, because I swear, and that's that the sequel to Eternal Darkness that was being made, Nintendo didn't jump on it. They realized like that the project has been put on hold from crowdsource funding, which would have made it a multi-plat. But if Nintendo goes and they decide to fund it, they can make it an exclusive. And I don't see why they haven't done it, but it's something that they need to do. They need to jump on it and do it really quickly before somebody else does. And then that'll be another title that Nintendo loses. I mean, because Silicon Knights did a great job on Eternal Darkness from all the stuff I've seen. I still have yet to play that game, and I'm going to find a way to get a copy of it so I can play it. Because I heard so many good things about it, I want to play it. Another thing I'm disappointed I didn't hear about was like another like another big console Legend of Zelda game. I'd be like, but they got Wind Waker, which is a remake of the GameCube version of the game, which is fine. I mean, I'm assuming that since there isn't going to be a Game Boy Advance, that a person can use the Pro controller to play, and then someone else can use the tablet controller is to simulate the functions that the Game Boy Advance had for the GameCube and use Tinkle for all that type of stuff. And if in single player, it would be like a ready map for you to be able to view without having to pause your screen, and you can swap your inventory without having to pause and stuff like that. Which I'm hoping that's how they do it, because that would make it much better and quite a bit more accessible to play that way. Um, Also, I don't see why they haven't jumped on trying to get No More Heroes continued, because they're like, obviously the second one left off so that there would be room for a continuation, but they haven't done anything with that just yet. But yeah, I mean, I'm also not too happy that we're not really seeing a whole lot new from them. I mean, they have X, which is, I'm going to say, the spiritual successor to Xenoblade, and yeah, Quantum. I was about to say Quantum. Platinum. Wow, Platinum did a great job with Xenoblade on the Wii. Like, enough people say the Wii couldn't handle highly graphical games, and that was one of them. That was on that console. I mean, yeah, it wasn't high def, but it was really a work of art as a video game. And I mean, I haven't played it, but I've seen the videos for it seen some videos for it and some screenshots of the game, and that's another game I'm going to definitely pick up is Xenoblade Chronicles. Like it's just like wow, but it's like they haven't really tapped into the potential of the console just yet. It's like I understand you're still within the first year, so it's not going to really happen. But honestly, right now we have way too many Mario games hitting the market. I mean, it's nice that Mario has games out there, but they have too many Mario games coming out within each other's time, within a certain amount of time of each other. Then they also have Pikmin 3 coming out, which I'm actually looking forward to that because I've never played the first two. But they also then behind that they have the Wonderful 101, which has a similar play style. And I don't know if that's a good idea to have two games like that coming out within a month of each other. I mean, Pikmin 3 obviously is going to come out first, but I guess it's more or less the Wonderful 101 is the same play style for people who probably don't want to get Pikmin because the plot to Pikmin might not be interesting to them. But still, they can do more with it than that. It's I don't see. And if I were a Nintendo rep and I was working there, then I probably would have thought of this. Why not try to get Capcom to go back and like do some of those canceled Mega Man games? Like get the. It's not like they don't have the code for it. They have the code for most. I mean, if not all of their stuff, they have the code for most of it. I mean, go back and see if you can get them to make those games and make them exclusive to your console. Like I understand that people are getting tired of third parties giving watered down ports to the Wii U because they want to test the waters. Like you can't really test the waters with a bunch of shit that people have already played. Like if people were interested in getting the Wii U, you have to assume that some of them already have the other consoles and probably played those games. If you're not offering anything extra to the game that would actually like, warrant somebody actually purchasing it again on a different console, then it's not going to happen. That's just how it is. I mean, and it just no, not a good idea. But dang it, I had a thought and I got so caught up in that, and it just trickled out my mind. Um, oh yeah, Metroid. No new Metroid. You gotta. I'm surprised there's not another Metroid game that's coming out in like the Metroid Prime style. I would consider it that they would probably drop Prime off at the end because I'm figuring Metroid Prime itself is meant to be a trilogy of games to itself within its own little portion of the Metroid universe. They haven't announced that, and then they didn't even announce like another Star Fox title, and Star Fox has been sitting in the back corner for a while. Another game I wish that they would continue, Mother Earthbound. Why not? Like, you have so many fans of that series, and yet you're letting it sit there. And like, this is what Nintendo's biggest problem is. They actually have a lot of IPs. I mean, yeah, people will complain about them using Legend of Zelda and Mario all the time. But I can say this about the Legend of Zelda: there are not two of them that are exactly the same. Even in the instance of Ocarina of Time to Majora's Mask, those two games are not that much alike. I mean, yeah, they play in a similar style, but when you actually play them and play through the games, they're still very much different from each other. And there is no two Legend of Zelda games that are exact same games. I mean, I would love, and I've said this before, for them to go back and remake the first Legend of Zelda and a Legend of Zelda 2 Link's Adventure and do them in the 3D style, so and like give a better story to them. That would have been better to me than a Wind Waker remake, even though I like the Wind Waker. That would have been better to me, like especially to be able to see the first Legend of Zelda game, the way it was done, and just like give it a full cinematic story, as well as build the worlds in 3D and make that would be so awesome to see that. I mean, and I think they probably thought of it. They just can't think of a way to do it that would stay true to the original game and be a very appreciated update. But I mean, come on, they've made so many wonderful games in that series. There's no reason that they can't do it. And I mean, I'm happy to see the sequel to A Link to the Past, A Link Between Worlds. I mean, it's a unique game, even though I'm kind of iffy on the art style because of the fact that A Link to the Past Link had a very different look than the Toon version of Link, and I don't really like that they went with Toon Link's look. Like, it's not something I can control, but I think it would have better been a better representation to kind of keep Link looking similar to how he did on the Super Nintendo. I mean, I understand that they couldn't really do much with as much with the colors on the Super Nintendo as they wanted to, but they should have incorporated some of those limitations as far as like the color palette into A Link Between Worlds, just so it stays more true to the original Super Nintendo game. I mean, I can't fault them for not doing that, but it would have been better in my eyes, and I think in the eyes of quite a few people, if they had done that, because that shows that there's variation between the links. That shows that there's variation between the characters. I understand wanting to keep his updated look, but in doing that, you also change people's perception of that particular version of that character. Which, one way or the other, I mean, Link is Link either way. No matter how many different forms of Link there are, he's still Link. He's still the hero of time, has the Triforce of Courage. That's who he is. But it's just, I would prefer that, like I said, I would prefer that he stayed more to, he looked more like his traditional self. That's all I would, as far as that goes. But I think I'm all talked out. I don't really have a whole lot more to say. Everything else I wanted to say is pretty much in my article, which I am hoping will be either published this week or sometime early next week. I know that they had a busy holiday weekend, so I'm trying to make sure that I keep up with my articles and I'm getting back to doing my videos. So hopefully things will change before then. Anyway, thank you very much for taking the time to check this out. Keep an eye out for more of my stuff, and until the next time, enjoy your games.